6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. Is the sound all right, Ian? Shake your head. Thumbs up. Yay! Finally! Finally! We've started a show without a hiccup. Makes a change, doesn't it? Wouldn't be me without doing something stupid, though. There's the link if anyone wants to become a member. Even though, welcome back for another transfer show with all the news, views, and opinions. Please like and share and subscribe. It's all free. Join the channel for 99p and enter into the members draw, which I will be doing this month. Please adhere to community guidelines, keep comments respectful, and enjoy the show. Gary's in the house, Lee's in the house, John's in the house, he's even on the show. Lee, Gary, Lee, Leslie, Gary, Richard, good to see you, mate. Alan, even better to see you as well, mate. And Blade's in the house as well before work, welcome. We've got lots to go through tonight. We will try and get to questions, I promise you that. But please bear with us. So let's bring the co-host in. How are you doing? I'm good. You?
Spot on, pal.
It makes a change, not fucking up, doesn't it? I can say that. My channel. Ian, good evening. Fergus as well. Dean, welcome to the chat. And even all right, let's bring John in. John, it's been a while.
Oh, you're all right. How are we doing?
Oh, banned. Last year's shirt.
No, yeah. Right, I'm off. I'll come back in 3 months again.
Yeah. How was your tour away?
Oh, it's been busy. Long nights, long days, not much sleep. I've only come back early because I've got a operation on Thursday. It's nothing too serious, in and out job, good. But glad to be good back. I'm glad to be back amongst it all.
Excellent. All right, the man of the moment, Will.
Good evening, Baz.
How are we doing?
Ian, John.
Hello, mate.
All right, Will, mate. How are you doing?
Hello. Not too bad. I was hoping we'd have a little bit more, but it's starting to ramp up a little bit, I think. Very slowly.
I've got a little, so I hope it's okay.
Ooh. Right, well, first of all, we're going to start off, and I think it's very fitting we start off with this first. It's been 10 years since this tragic event happened. You know, whoever visions going on a plane, going to a friendly game and getting shot down, it's absolutely horrible. And may they still rest in peace. I know we did the minute silence for them for so long, but with it being a 10-year anniversary, I thought it was appropriate to bring it up. It's obviously all over Twitter and everything else as well. But yeah, so anyone want to say anything?
Yeah, I had the privilege to meet his dad at a book launch. He sadly passed away, obviously, but it was great to meet him. Actually, it was in the Strawberry, and obviously there was a few other people I met. It was Bob Moncur, I met my old Man United coach there, Pop Robson as well, because it was a fitting thing because they talked about the European Cup winning thing back in the day, which was absolutely great. Lindisfarne was there as well, so it was honestly, it was a fantastic night. It really was.
My invite.
Again, I got invited. So no, it was James, who I used to do the other shows with. James, he was in our book as well, because he does a lot of stuff like that. So he got invited along, and he asked me to come along, which I was grateful for. And honestly, it was a fantastic night, and it was an honour to meet his dad, and he was just a genuine bloke. So it was absolutely fantastic, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Love Newcastle, both of them. I didn't bring his son up. I just thought about speaking about Newcastle because it was about him being there, and it was just I thought it was brilliant. You know, I thought he was a lovely fella. His dad. It was a privilege to meet him.
All right. Anybody else want to say something quickly?
Just rest in peace to the boys. I'm sure they'll be looking down now and they're more than happy with what's going on with this club.
Hopefully. Will?
Yeah, just rest in peace. I never got the chance to meet either of them, but just such horrible circumstances to die like that. So, yeah.
Horrible. Right, let's try and lighten up the mood now.
God almighty.
We just go from one pedestal to another one, don't we? We're just back down here again.
You've got to forget about that shit show we watch, mate, and just concentrate on what we love, and that's Newcastle United. That's gone now for me.
I just thought that was hilarious when I saw it. I just couldn't help myself.
Mate, I just think, good. That's it. Get to the proper stuff. Get to the proper stuff. That's it.
Well, listen, the proper stuff, yeah. So I saw this picture. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It just reminds me of the In-Betweeners a little bit. So I put out a best caption gets a shout out tonight. I've got 3 so far that I really, really like. Listen, Mitchell, piss about. You'll be cutting my grass and you better be doing a better job than that greedy man, Ashworth Alnwick kid. Then there was this one. TalkSport fell for that shit. I'm open to talks for England. Well, that was quite good. Luke Edwards has just asked if he's invited to the meal tonight.
God.
Could you imagine? They're the best 3 that I've got so far. If anyone wants to try to top that in the chat, go for it, or choose the best one and then I'll shout them out on Twitter. There was loads of other ones. There were some really good ones as well, but we'll be here all night going through all them.
I think they're probably laughing at about, like, I reckon the caption would be something along the lines of Luke Edwards fell for it again.
Yeah, there was things like that. Honestly, there was some really good ones. There was one about like you better leave Gordon on the bench unless we're 2-0 down and stuff like that. I thought was quite good, but there we go. I always think, because when I saw the caption myself and I saw the actual picture, if you actually look at Eddie Howe, he's pointing his finger at Ruben and he looks like he's getting a bollocking and everyone else is laughing. So I thought all the stuff would be about that, but no one's even referenced it once. But it doesn't look very. That's obviously quite. Oh, someone did mention something about Jamie. I bet you've never worn Adidas shoes until this meeting or something like that. I thought that was quite funny. But there we go. That was the boys all the way over in Germany at the Adidas Centre. Obviously, it's great that they're out there doing the camp. Let's get into some sort of transfer news. I know it's technically away from Newcastle, but Will Dummett to Sheffield United. According to Team Talk, I thought he was off to America.
Oh, wow, that's took me by surprise. I haven't even seen that today. I did get stuff quite a long time ago on Dummett, but I never really followed up on any of it because obviously not really anything to do with us anymore. But
he's a local lad, and he would like to.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to see him
keep an eye on
do
him.
well there. I think it could be a decent move for him. Obviously, you'd expect him to be top half of the Championship next season. So if he does get that deal over the line, all the best to him.
Yeah. Cheeky, Jules. Cheeky. Jesus. I'm only on the coke tonight. I've got work tomorrow, thank you.
He was linked to Middlesbrough, wasn't he? That was the
Borough as well, yeah. That was one. That was in January, though, wasn't it? When we still potentially could have got a fee for him. But it seems Sheffield United are after him, which is, again, a bit of a strange one. But I honestly thought America, I think that's a good place for him to go. This kills a lot of NUFC fans who wanted to see ASM back. Now, this would have been the perfect opportunity to get him back into the football club if we had any ambition of doing it. He's gone on loan to Fenerbahce to work with Jose Mourinho. A lot of Newcastle fans would like to see him as manager as well. Personally, not me. And I know Ian's just it's like, no, we're not even going to go there tonight. But this shows you, Will, that ASM is a definite thing of the past.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a time and a place for him. Obviously, today was the 5-year anniversary of Bruce, actually, so it just reminded me of all them memories back of ASM bailing us out, them dark days. But I think the time and the place is gone. Gordon last season was levels above anything that Saint-Maximin ever did for us in a Newcastle shirt, and that's the reality. But I'm always going to be grateful to Maxi for the memories he provided. Obviously, he was a bit of a spark in a pretty dire team, so I'm always going to be fond of him. But I think that time's passed now.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You're the same as me, aren't you? We moved on as soon as we sold them, to be fair.
Well, I just still don't get the hate from the Newcastle United fans that keep bringing them up to, like, we're going to start following in Turkey and doing it. Look, for me, 3 games or 4 games out the whole season where you got you out your seat's not good enough for me. Nah. So Will's just absolutely nailed it, what he's just said, mate. Anthony Gordon's brought more to this football club that man has done in his time, in his short period of time at this Newcastle United, mate. For me, if any Newcastle United fan wanted this bloke back at the club at this present time as a project of us going forward, need to have a look in the mirror, mate, and just give yourselves a good shake, because that is just absolutely not the right thing to do, in my opinion. His laziness off the ball absolutely frustrated the life out of me. And I can't even believe I'm even talking about this player again, because he's went from Saudi to Fenerbahce, and it's got nothing to do with Newcastle United, and I'm even speaking about him again. It frustrates the life out of me, Baz. It really does. When we've got players that have got heart, they've got soul, they give everything for the cause, they create more, they score goals, they assist more. This man did not do that on a regular basis. I'm not having it, like, and I just don't get what people say in my opinion. I don't get.
I do think that's funny though. It would have been funny to buy him back for 1 million just to wind the FA up.
Do you know what it is? If we bought him back from this football, I would be absolutely, even for £1. That is us step back 10 year. We do not need players. He's a Paul Pogba of a Man United rule. His attitude is rotten. His attitude is absolutely rotten.
Wear your heart on your sleeve in, as you always do.
Because Baz, I don't get what people see. You know what Newcastle United is about: pride, passion, everything. Right? What you give. I understand he was in a really poor side, so he stood out. But if you look at what he brought, right? What, because he went past Kyle Walker in a Manchester City game when everybody brings him up? I'm not having that. Anthony Gordon ripped Kyle Walker's arse out, right?
So did Willock.
Right, but for the next consistent games, time and time after that, Gordon produced it to a level like that, where Saint-Maximin went to a level like that, and then he went down there for the next 10, 12, 15 games and was non-existent. That isn't good enough for Newcastle United. Please don't ask me. Don't ask me again about that man. No, it's just, as Newcastle United going forward, we cannot afford to have players of that man's. His desire is terrible. It's terrible. And if you can't see that.
Still scored a great goal in the FA Cup against the Division 2 side, though, remember?
Well, Oxford, get in there, wallop. Jesus Christ.
To bring it up. John, your thoughts on Saint-Maximin? He's definitely the past.
Yeah, 100% is in the past. He was a bright spark a long time ago. In the past, he's over and done with. He's done what he needed to do for us. Hope he does well wherever he's at. But we're looking forward now. And even if someone did pay that £1 to come back in, he'd still only be third, fourth choice on the bench.
I wouldn't even put him on the bench. It's not worthy. I'd put. Do you know what it is? I'll put Jacob Murphy in before him, because Jacob Murphy wears everything on his sleeve, right? He doesn't.
Agree.
If it doesn't go, how a man? He gets wrapped up as a mummy. I've never seen anything like it. You cannot see his skin for bandages.
I've got one for you. That picture should be by Saint-Maximin for £1. Let's wind Ian up for the week.
God.
Come and get your maximum £1 fish.
God, come on, lads. Be realistic here.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, I love it.
I think
I touched the nerve.
I've never lost it on your show, Baz, but it's just Saint-Maximin. I don't see what people. Where's he at the French squad?
God, what people see in it is what they see the bad days, like Will brought up. He was the the one who got you out of your seat. He was the one who kept us up, basically. But now we're progressing. Yes, you're absolutely right. But he had his time, he had his place, and he has his fans because of it. So, yeah. But again, like you said, you've just got to move on from him. Go on, Will.
No, this could bring us on to a good point, because some people might say Wilson's had his time and place, and
This
we
is
know
true.
what's coming out with him. Apparently, Eddie Howe wanting to keep him today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what on Wilson's defensive side, mind, Wilson will throw his body about and he will run and he will try his best to Newcastle United. Right? You can't. Saint-Maximin will go hiding, and he will wait, and he would leave us vulnerable, because what he tried to do and take 3 or 4 players on, he wouldn't give a shit what he's done when he's given the ball away. He would just stand and beg for a free kick. Where Wilson,
I agree with that.
Wilson would die for the cause, and that's the difference between somebody who loves the club and somebody that's just all about him. And for me, that just doesn't work in Newcastle United.
But that's why Wilson's still here and
Correct.
Saint-Maximin isn't.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about Wilson then very, very quickly while we're here. Everyone's saying we can't go into the next season with just 2 strikers again. We can't depend on Wilson and Isak covering. I'm now looking at the situation very differently, because we don't have Europe. We're playing once a week. Yes, we will play 2 games in a week, around Christmas time, and if we're still in the cups in the deeper rounds. But the starting 11, right? I wanted to do this a little bit later on. This is our best starting 11 as it stands right now. Yeah. Yes, we want an upgrade on Miggy, but we don't have it yet. But this is our best starting 11. Someone tell me why this starting 11 can't start 75% of the games next season. And then why are we so desperate to see so many changes when this side is better and the squad is better than the season we finished 4th?
Yeah. Squad depth.
Well, you've got Barnes, you've got Tino, you've got Wilson, you've got Willock to come in there yet.
Yeah.
There's 4 other quality players who could potentially start for any top half of the Premier League.
Yeah. Look in the direction of that right winger.
That's the only thing I pointed out. That's the only. But everyone's saying, "Oh, we need 4 players to compete. We need 4 players to be able to push on." We don't. We need 1.
Yeah.
We need 1 quality upgrade on the right wing, and that starting 11 could beat any team in the Premier League. We'll probably still struggle against City because they don't play that possession-based game, but we'll give them a game, and we'll give them a hell of a game. But you tell me now where everyone's coming up with this, we need 4 players. We can't trust Wilson. When we're playing 1 game a week, there's no reason why that starting 11 can't start 75% of the games next season. Does anyone disagree?
With Callum Wilson, I'd keep him anyway. He's proven goal scorer when he's not going through his little injury patches. And when he does come back, he does score goals, and I think we've probably got 1 more season with him, and then I think maybe next season he might not be here anymore. But That being said, we haven't got another young striker coming through. We haven't, bought that other striker that you keep reading in the reports or the rumours or whatever you want to say. And if we didn't get another one in, I'd keep Wilson 100%. He's going to get you 10, 15 goals minimum. And the only way we get rid of him now and go out and buy, this is an example, like a Valholovich type striker, who's not quite grasping that first team, but, we'll play with Isak, as if someone comes in with a monumental offer, like 25 million plus for him. And I think if a team does come in and offers that type of money, they'll probably take into consideration, and he'd probably be out the door, and our new number 9 would be Isak.
I agree. But looking at the season going ahead with that starting 11 and then the players I mentioned who could come in. By the way, yes, he is called Batman. I call Batman.
Yeah, man.
Robin will be on the bench.
That team you got on the screen there, Baz, that's top 4. 100%.
Exactly.
And
that team's better than the team that we actually finished top 4 with.
yeah, because if you look at the team, obviously, you never know. We could get Purple Patch Miggy again next season. We just don't know, do we? You know, we've got one of the best defenders in the league. That midfield 3 is probably, you know, that could be devastating next year, especially with
Sean
Tonali.
Longstaff as well as another player that'll be sitting on the bench. I've just remembered about there's 5 players potentially who give you the squad depth, don't they?
Yeah, you've got Tonali. He's going to be playing with a point to prove, and then
massively looks amazing.
Yeah, and then obviously Gordon's going to be. He's going to be. I think he'll play with anger next season. He's going to go to that another level because of what happened in the summer.
Yeah, I agree.
Now,
by the way, we heard information on Botman that he will actually be. He's actually ahead of schedule.
Yeah. No.
So he actually will be back before Christmas.
With obviously with Botman coming back, you still don't know how he's going to be. By the way, I know they've been looked after the best possible that they possibly can be, but we still don't know how he's going to come back. Will he be the Botman that we know of the season before? Will he be the Botman that struggled a little bit? We just don't know. For me, what I've seen trips in England, I know he's on the left-hand side. I'm favouring Tino in there. I really am for pace. Bars and Miggy again on that side. It just Hall and Gordon. Hall came on heaps and bounds come the end of the season, and Gordon was just absolutely tremendous. Tonali for me, I can't wait to see this kid play again. But it's going in that Miggy side, Bars.
Yeah, but I pointed that out straight away. The player we're missing is a right winger. So why is everyone saying we're 4 or 5 players short of being able to compete? I still think that starting 11 can compete right now.
I still think for a 33-year-old Baz with Shaw as well, mind, week in, week out, it's a tough ask. You're going down the Trippier route, you know, so we need. That's why I was saying I think we need a right-sided centre-half in. And obviously Botman's not going to be there till December. So it's going to be the Dan Burn and Lloyd Kelly in there. Again, that's going to be. So this is where people saying we need 4 or 5 players in. I agree. I think we need quite a few players in. Because we've let a few, we've let that.
So if we need another defender, I get the right side of things, but why? When we've got Kelly's coming, he's going to be a left centre back.
If Shaw goes out,
but Shaw, I get that. So then you got obviously the Lascelles is injured as well. So 2 players then.
Yeah. So
a right centre back and a right winger. I would be happy if the window's shut and we signed only 2 quality players. Right. And they were a right centre back and a right winger. Yeah. I would still think we would finish top 4.
It's pivotal that we sign that right centre back because we can't go into the season with Kraft as our understudy to Shaw. It's impossible. We can't do it, and we can't going into the season with Miggy or Jacob Murphy. Me personally, as much as I like Wilson, we need another centre forward because it's just another game away from an injury. So for me, 1,000,000% we need 3 players in minimum.
But I don't think we go for another striker if Wilson stays. Will, you can back that up as well, haven't you? Because you've always said we'd only buy another striker if Wilson leaves.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we got 3 strikers just because, especially if you look around the Premier League, there's not actually that many teams that would have 3 high-quality strikers like that. A lot of teams wouldn't even have 2 quality strikers. They might have 1 first striker, then their backup might be a big drop-off, or they might have a versatile forward who can fill in there, almost like Gordon can for us as a third choice, I suppose. But for me, the 3 positions you need a right wing. There's just a lack of quality there. Miggy and Murphy, they're both put in a shift, but there's a lack of quality compared to the rest of the team. A right centre back because you're 1 Shah injury away from a crisis, as Ian rightly pointed out. And for me, I'd like to see a goalkeeper come in. Now, how you do that, I think you've got to try and get rid of Dubravka. But again, I think if Nick Pope gets an injury, I think we're in trouble there as well. So for me, you've got to be having at least them 3 positions, and then striker depending on Wilson.
Yeah. See, I just don't get this. We really aren't that far away from being a genuine challenger to the top 4, if not higher. That squad, that 11, is better than the team that finished in the top 4 last time. And he even points out to himself here that we're only 11 points off 4th despite all the injuries last season.
Yeah, Baz.
Yeah.
A question was asked. It was about 2 transfer shows ago about Gibbs White coming in, and he wouldn't fit into our system. Right now, I turned around and said, "Now we've got to move with the times because we can't just revolve about being a 4-3-3 or a 4-5-1 without the ball out of possession. With the current players we have in our squad mind, that is all we have got, and we have to change dramatically, I think, with the signings that we make to be more transformative on the football pitch rather than being one-dimensional. Now, if I understand what you're saying, where that team there is potentially can drive us up the top of the league, I don't agree with that. I agree with that. However, when you fall back with everybody around them, what can you change by bringing off the bench to make it any different of what you're doing? For me, you're reverting back to type where you're just going to replace like for like. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what we need to be more imaginative through them. I know Eddie Howe will be doing this, but that's for me. Our signings are so crucial, so we're not like for like. We need to change a football game when things aren't going right. And the personnel that we have at this football club, we change things, and it's just one in, one off. And it's that's what we've got to be so better at.
I get that, and changing things around. See, I wouldn't rather have Somerville because Somerville's a left winger, and we've got 2 left wingers as it is.
Yeah.
So we don't need another left winger. I think those links are for different. And like Nonto is another link. Again, he's a left winger. We don't need a left winger. I'm going to come to this man. So his interview was brilliant. Now, obviously, I've said my piece on it. I want to get what you guys want to go about. And the reason why I want to go to it now is because of what you've said is about buying 4 or 5 players, being able to compete. Now, he said something in the interview which really caught my eye and really made me stand up and listen, was PSR was a problem. We know that. We have been running a debt of 70 million for the last 3 years. One of them has now just dropped off, or 2 of them have dropped off, I should say. Since the takeover, we've ran a debt. Now, it runs in 3-year cycles. We've now got a new cycle, and a 70 million debt cycle has dropped off. So that means we've only got 1 more cycle left to drop off of debt, and then the rest of the cycles, by the sounds of his interview, are not debt. They could have been a balance sheet, not profit, but not a debt. And that is massive for the football club with PSR going forward. So this is why I think they will take a gamble this summer of not pushing the boat out on signings, because he even said in his interview the squad looks strong, it's stronger, and they are aiming for Europe regardless. Now, Will, did you listen to the interview? Have you listened to the 9-minute one that was on the NUFC TV, which I thought was brilliant? Would you agree?
Yeah, I listened to it.
Would you agree with what I'm saying? Because we've now lost 70 million losses off that 3-year cycle. We've now only got 1 behind us. Once we get rid of that next summer, the future's bright.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And also, another thing that caught my eye was that he said we'd always spend to the maximum of what we're allowed within the headroom. So,
yes. If the players were right, but we have to be clever.
If the players were right. And he also said about being clever with the deals that we've got to do. And I think a point I brought up today when I was speaking to someone, I said, for example, if we're trying to do a transfer and a club's asking for an extra 5 or 10 million, it's not that it makes a difference to the owners. It's that it makes a difference to what else we can do in the window because of how the rules are. I think if PSR wasn't around and FFP wasn't a thing, I think you would see us do deals a lot quicker, because I think we would probably just pay what people wanted within reason, and we maybe wouldn't be haggling over deals or trying to get the best price. But if we pay 5 or 10 million less for a player, that could be another player when it's amortized and stuff like that. So I think they're just being very clever with the finances, and there's a lot of people that need to agree on the deals before they push through, which is why I think with Paul Mitchell coming in, with big changes in personnel in the boardroom, I think that's why there's been a slight delay in the transfers while they just find out who they agree on, who they're going to go for. And I think, like you say, that we're not in massive debt or anything like that. It's just the rules and regulations that we're working in, and I think you'll see us move in the window. Like I say, I think we will still sign players, but I think we're just going to be a bit more clever. Like you say, we might not go out and sign 4 or 5 players. We might just get 2 or 3 quality players. And of course, we've already got Kelly, a couple of goalkeepers. Hall's now permanent, so we have already made a couple of signings, even though it's almost went under the radar.
Yeah, it has. It's done it. Everyone's saying we're signing shite, but we're not. Kelly is a very, very astute free signing. Hall cost 28 million. The goalkeepers aren't there to push the first team. They're there to push in training. You know, the Rudy deal and the other one. Then there's the Greek lad who might be the number 2. We don't know yet. We don't know whether, you know, the form he had at Benfica was fantastic. He moves to Forest. He loses all his confidence. We don't know what he is going to be like, do we? Ian, your thoughts on the interview? I sent it to you. Did you get a chance to listen to it?
Yeah, I watched this. People were begging out for him to come out and speak summit. It's right, he did, and it just what it does is it shuts a lot of people down and realise how difficult it is for our football club. Just because people just think they can pick a checkbook out and go out and sign players, but unfortunately that's not the case. But do you know what it is? If you look what this football club's put in the background, that certain people that's been put into certain jobs, what Piff's had to put into place to take care of certain departments, what we didn't even think about, which apparently Lee Charnley was taking over everything. But,
he was, yeah. He did every job that's been filled.
Every job, and hey, do you know what it is? What a remarkable job that man was doing. Unfortunately, he wasn't. But you know, it's just small steps what this football club's taken that's going to be huge in the future. And you've just got to realise what these people have done in the short period of time that they've been at this football club. And now, this man now, Darren Eales, is, you know, he's remarkable. And he's very, very clever at how he speaks. And he'll tell you what everybody wants to hear. But I'll tell you now what other stuff is going on in the background. It'll be just absolutely special what these people are in control of, and I think it's brilliant. I really do. We've always wanted owners. We've always wanted direct. We haven't even thought about directors coming out and speaking to our fan base. This is on a different level what we are on now, and just trust everybody what's happening. It's remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely, John.
Yeah, I listened to it and. I think I echo obviously what Will, obviously Ian and that was saying, that the fans have asked for this. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on, isn't it? And fans wanting, we want answers, blah 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 blah. And he's come out and he's hit the nail on the head of every topic that seems to be questions are being asked. So obviously they'll read all the social media and all that good stuff. And I think he's right what Ian's saying. He tells you what he wants to read, but in a diplomatic manner. And there'll be stuff going on in the background that not one of us will ever know. And personally, he's talking about PSR, talking about the headroom. They've probably got deals more or less good to go, especially with Mitchell and all that coming in. It's just a question of when it obviously gets the green light to go. And a part of me also believes that they're waiting for this cat case to get resolved, because they've probably got a few deals lined up where it's just going to go, it'll just blow PSR out the water.
Yeah. The sponsorship side for me is just how far we've come from a man.
30% increase on the air since the takeover.
How far we've come from a man that was branding his own name for free in our football club to a football club now that's actually bringing sponsorship from all around the world. We've always wanted that, and these will not stop. These will not stop until they get what they want. And always remember, when our chairman turned around and goes, "What do you want to be?" He went, "Number one," and I believe that. He stayed there. He goes, "What do you want to be?" To be number one. These people aren't here just for the short term. We will be number one. And there's Man City are petrified of what's going on in our football club, and the other clubs are trying their best to stop us in our tracks. And I do not believe we will be stopped. It will take time, but we will get there.
The whole footballing world's probably wary. Probably minus one team. That's probably Real Madrid, because if they come knocking, you're going to
City have still got their wealth to back it up. To be fair,
they have though. But let's put a bit of perspective into things. Let's say PSR wasn't a drama, and we could go out and buy. You look at all these top players that are going around all the clubs. We could easily meet the transfer, we could meet the wages, we could meet the agent fees. At the moment, we can't quite do that at the moment. But once that PSR does get bigger and we can spend more, this is what Ian's saying. They're going to be shitting themselves because we can match anything. And if we've got to pay more, we can pay more if need be. Obviously, I don't think our owners are going to be that same type of owners. But I think once we do get that headroom where we can spend more, they will go out and buy those marquee signings where we all, deep in our hearts, we all want like that little FIFA dream, where they just go out and buy anyone they want. But that time will come, but just not quite yet.
Agree. Absolutely agree. It will come. It will come. Right, before we go on to the next little bit, don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying it. There is a membership option, links at the top of the chat. It's only 99p. And our amazing sponsors, Diacro, are going to give away a $40 gift card this month to a lucky member. But everyone can have 20% off their website. Just the link is in the description. Same for football prizes. Amazing little company to do raffles and do loads of stuff. They do cash prizes, bespoke prizes like England tickets, private jet, stuff like that. I'll probably chuck the England tickets, to be fair, and just go on the private jet. And we've also got this amazing opportunity as a channel to host at Newcastle Benfield Football Club the first game between the channel and Stanley Deaf Club to raise money for basically an underfunded, well, non-funded, disability, which is ridiculous. People are born like this and yet they don't get any help, but yet they can't go for God knows how many jobs and all this sort of stuff. They're literally hampered in life. It's not fair. So we're trying to do our bit for Stanley Deaf Club and for Kieran's football team, because they're not funded at all either. So we're trying to raise as much money as we can. We've got amazing prizes. Thank you to the likes of B&M. Oh God, there's loads. They give £100 gift card. Delta Force Paintball Newcastle have donated £100.
Yeah, Barber has as well, haven't they?
Yeah, Nufc Flooring and Furniture. Bars, Temple Spa Treats. It's nothing to do with me. Jones, yeah, exactly. Jones Bakehouse. Lisa Riseborough has kindly donated a sweet hamper. Whitley Bay Lodge High have kindly donated a weekend stay in their beautiful lodge. Barber have kindly donated a voucher for one of their quilted jackets of your choice. Newcastle United have kindly donated 2 times adults, 2 times children tour of St James's Park to be given away. And there's more prizes to come because Alan Shearer is going to be signing some shirts. We've got loads of stuff coming. So please get down on the day and join in the fun and watch me and Ian basically keel over on a foot. Well, I'll keel over. Ian will probably last longer than me. Hopefully Nobby Solano will be turning up to take some questions and sign some autographs. There's loads on. It's a family-run thing. There'll be food, beer, cheap stuff. Hopefully a FIFA competition as well, which I will definitely not be involved in. I can't play FIFA anymore. But please get down on the day, 4th of August, Newcastle Benfield Football Club. It's an amazing, amazing idea, and hopefully we'll be doing it every year if it's a success. Right, back to the good stuff. Transfers. Shocked that we are not in for this man? Or is this basically them selling him as a stepping stone to Man United?
It could be. Well, Man United have just signed that Yoru, haven't they? That kid.
Yeah,
I think they're looking at
Madrid.
the lit as well. So I'm guessing they've moved on to other targets now, because obviously they got told basically that they couldn't sign him from Nice. So whether that could be a stepping stone, I don't know. But I have to say I don't know a lot about him. I'm not going to claim to know a lot about him. But with the clubs that were in for him, you'd think it's going to be a decent deal for West Ham, and obviously paying around 30 million, it's not too much of a risk. It'll be interesting to see how he does in the Premier League, though, because I know he's been rated quite high in the French league for a couple of years now. So I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Just gutted he's not coming to us. We all fancied him, didn't we, as a player to be in a Newcastle shirt, Ian?
I seemed a decent player, didn't he? But
yeah, I'll be sent off for bad language. Jesus Christ, I'm not going to last 5 minutes. I'm really not. This came up on Twitter as well. Eddie Howe has asked Paul Mitchell, we're bringing in 2 signings before the team jet off the pre-season tour in Japan. Will, is this a load of rubbish or is this correct?
I can't confirm if that's right or not. As for a conversation between them, I don't know. They've obviously would have had a lot of conversations, but I know that they'll obviously be in talks to get consulted with each other. Centre back and right wing are the main targets, so at least they've got that bit right.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's happened there is, if you remember rightly, before the Japan tour was done, Eddie Howe actually spoke and said it would be better for him if 2 signings was brought in before we actually travelled away, because he wanted his business done so he could work with them to get pre-season done early. I think that's where that one's came from.
Yeah, I mean, he likes to get his signings done early because he obviously likes to put a lot of work to get them up to his fitness levels and running with the team. But I think we're boxing clever in this window. I really do. So it might take a little bit longer. Right. This one. Kang In Lee, I think that's how you pronounce it, was not present in the morning training session today. It remains to be seen when his return date is set. Now, is this just because he's on holiday, or is this an actual genuine interest?
Well, that specific, what you've put on the screen there, that's because he was on international duty, so he's been given a longer return date. So it's nothing to do with a transfer or anything like that. We did make an inquiry for him, however.
See, this is a very interesting one. Remember, Ian, when we first had the takeover and we all discussed about boosting revenue and all this sort of stuff and signing the Canadian Messi and being able to sell shirts? This lad sold more shirts than Mbappe last season.
Yeah, I can see what they're doing. I really can. And it's whether it's
clever.
Yeah, whether it's clever or whether it's true, I don't know. And that's the thing for me. I can see the logistic in it. I really can. Whether it's true, again, I don't know.
The South Korean kid is gathering pace. Another issue is all the players at the tourney will now be on holiday before deals really kick in. It's so hard to do deals in a window when there's been a major tournament. It always ends up being near the start of the season when everything gets done, which is not ideal. He's got an extra 2 weeks off, but again, John, this makes massive sense, doesn't it? If we want to boost our PR, we want to sell shirts, we want to be getting into countries where Newcastle's not a big hit, and signing someone like him, like it would have been, for the lad who was at Chelsea, this makes sense.
Yeah, 100%, and I think we'll see a lot of signs of these ilk going forward, where we're delving into, like the Far East, Southeast Asia. Like obviously we've got Garang Karul, Australia now, the South Americas, we've got them, the Americans, I think we'll see a lot more of them come about in the next 5 to 10 years going forward. And this obviously Kang In Lee, he's probably the next big hero. So Son's a hero at the moment. He's probably the next big hero. And if you sell more shirts than Mbappe, they've probably looked at it and thought, why not? But that's if they can get him on cheap. I've got my heart on certain Chiesa, but if you can get him and he helps with the PSR, then I'm all for it.
I think we're done and dusted with Chiesa now, aren't we? I don't think we're going to.
I'm still open for Paqueta's walking through the door.
I want cover. Kang In Lee was the very hottest prospect. PSG got him. He's done okay in the big, expensive squad. Will, do you think there's? I mean, would he be a player for the Premier League? Do you think, or is it literally one of those signings where it could be like selling shirts, really, rather than progressing and being a major player for us? Like,
No, I don't think we'd ever.
We?
I don't think we'd ever sign anyone just to sell shirts. I don't think
Do you know?
we're not that club. We'd always look at the player objectively. I mean, the big advantage with him is he can play all across the front line and in the midfield. So you can play him on either wing or centrally. He has played centre forward a couple of times, but that's probably his weakest position. But either wing, especially he can play off the right as well, left-footed, I think. So the versatility would definitely be a big plus, I think. Obviously, if you did want to change formation as well from that 4-3-3, someone like that could be very useful.
I'll just obviously just the flip side of that coin there, Will. Are we saying that we wouldn't? I personally think that we will, because if you look at there's an interview. I'll try and put it in the group at some point. I'll look for it later on. So there was an interview with Rory McIlroy regarding him going to play live golf, and they offered him 500 million to play in live golf, but he said no. And they wanted Rory McIlroy in live golf to obviously Rory McIlroy and, have that face in their golf structure. So a part of me thinks that, especially with us, they'll do that with us as well. So,
I mean, it could happen. I mean,
the only thing I'd say to that is, just with FFP and stuff like that, it could help. But then again, because they've got to be careful with how they're spending their money. If they're gonna buy someone who's basically not going to play, I mean, a player like that is not going to be cheap. I mean, he's going to cost you probably, well.
Someone said 40 million euro release clause. Is that right?
I'm not sure about that. I thought it would take more actually, but I mean, I can see both sides of it. Obviously, he would sell shirts. He would sell a lot of shirts, but then again, I just think it's a lot of money with FFP and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a risk, isn't it? It's blowing the money on someone who might not be the guaranteed starter, because we are looking for an excellent right winger. Yeah. Does he actually fit that bill? I don't know, because I haven't seen enough of them. It's a tough one.
And then you're on about right wingers, which is good now. And there was a lad I was speaking to 2 days ago now, and I messaged Will. Jeremy Pino at Villarreal, which was put to me, right? And we inquired about him in 2023, and we were put off because he had an £80 million release clause. 80 million euro release clause, which is 67 million. Now his contract's up at 2027, but last year he's had a cruciate ligament injury, and he's returned back to full training. And what the turned around and said was that they're looking to halve that fee to come in at £30-odd million to get that player at Newcastle United. Now, whether that's true, whether it's not, but that's the info what I got a couple of days ago. And I did ask Will, but he must have been busy.
I've just realised I missed your messaging.
Yeah,
Will's very good at doing that. Don't worry.
And again, I reiterate what Newcastle United do. They've got a habit of going back in for players what they really think highly of. And for this one,
it sounds like it could be a risk because of his injury, maybe. That's why they're looking for a shorter price. They'll go in and say, right, he's had this big injury. Yeah. Is he going to be the same player he was before? Are you willing to take half the fee or something like that?
And I mean, this kid was setting La Liga alight before the injury. And it's one of these ones, again, where I don't know. And it's a name out of the blue, which I thought we've never even heard about.
We've never mentioned him, have we? So.
No. So it was one of them for me. Again, I asked Will, and I didn't know if he had anything on that. I don't know. So it was just
Pino. No, not from me.
Yeah,
the only thing I've been given on the right wing, which I've just put out a tweet, which is quite vague, which I don't like to do, but it's all I've got at the minute. And basically, what I said is that the main right wing target is what I've just had a message. It would be considered like a marquee signing. So it seems like we are going for a top quality player in that right wing position. I've added to the tweet which someone told me earlier that they've heard it. It's a source that's normally been very good in the past. He's heard that there's a deal close in the pipeline.
Mhm.
Again, very vague. With Paul Mitchell coming in, that the leaks have just cleared up. It seems to have. So obviously there's not too much, but I've just said my best guess would be Malik Tor, but realistically could be anyone with the lack of info at the minute.
I hope it's Tor. Wait, it's Chow. It's not Chow.
Is it Chow?
Chow.
It's
Yeah.
Malik. It's Malik.
You get me
Chow.
right, Ian.
Yeah,
It's a hard one.
Don't even ask me.
it is Chow, and for me that gets me excited because the kid's got so much potential, and the future for Botman and him going forth for Newcastle, and you've got Hall and Livermore.
Huge.
It's huge for the club, and I really hope it is that, Will. I really do, mate.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I hope it's him, but like I say, it could be anyone with how it's going at the minute. It could just be one like Isaac where it just pops out of nowhere. Which there is something that I quite like about that. When you do just get someone that's not been linked at all and it just comes out, it is quite something quite refreshing about it.
We linked Isaac. We linked Isaac before.
Oh, did you?
Oh yes. Well, then it all went to Ikitiki, and then it all went quiet, and we were like, "All right, this Isaac thing must be."
It's all the smoke screens. Everyone forgot about him, and he came back.
We did. We all did. We all forgot about him. We mentioned him 4 weeks before he signed, saying he was on our radar, and then all this Ikitiki stuff started happening, and then we all forgot about Isaac, and then boom, it just happened. It was brilliant. I love it when that happens. And again, I like that there's not many leaks. And I think what we've got to be very careful of now as a fan base, also as a channel, and as Will and all the other in the knows, is that agents are going to start using Newcastle's name again a lot. So we're going to see a lot of players linked to our football club, and they're going to use accounts to push the name and then to try and help their players get a bigger, better move or get more wages. So we've got to be careful. But I like that there's the leaks on as much as there were. Also,
Baz, the same lad who told me about that, he also said that there's quite a lot of people that don't normally get invited are all over in Germany at this present time. They've been invited to go to the headquarters in Adidas. That's also what he told us as well.
I like that.
Well, that would make you think that they are working on something.
I think they've got to. I mean, they've got to get everyone together. It's probably the best chance to do it secretly as well, because they're all in the same place. There's going to be no leaks coming out of that place. I think that's not going to leak anything. So there's a very good chance that they're doing a lot of their work now.
There's Paul Mitchell as well. This is how he operates. He doesn't like leaks. Exactly. He doesn't like anything at all. A tweet I put out earlier, which is what I think might be the case. A lot of I speak to a fair few different people who've got all sources from all over the club, and nearly everyone has any info that is coming out has been very cagey and very vague. And I just think with the changes at the top and the new people that are in, I think people are being cagey. They don't want anyone to suspect where info is coming from, because there's a big stake. It could be their job at stake.
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. And at the end of the day, we don't want people losing their jobs just because they're giving information out. And they're not gaining anything from giving the information either. So it's great that they, speak to people like yourself. I mean, we used to get a few things here. We used to get a few things from players. But
that's gone super quiet as well.
There's lots of things going on in the background. Marcus Rashford, got no idea what's going on with him. I would probably take Rashford at Newcastle.
For half his wages and half a fee.
Yeah, he's got a half everything though, hasn't he?
Half everything. I would take a punt on Rashford every day of the week, mate.
Yeah, I would absolutely. But I think he's off to PSG, isn't he? Or is he going to stay? I don't know. Right. Well, have we missed anything? Is there anything come from the meeting? I know obviously links are very, very quiet. Leaks are quiet. Is there anything other than the tweets that you put out recently? Is there anything we've missed tonight?
I've only had a few tentative links, so nothing to get too sort of carried away with, just things that were at early stages. Antonio Silva, the centre-back from Portugal, I think. I can't remember what club it was, but the young centre-back,
was it not
apparently
Benfica?
We've been looking at him. Yeah, Benfica.
Yeah, he's been mentioned a few times, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm told he was a target, and fairly high on the centre-back list as well, depending on what happens with Chow. and yeah, and stuff like that.
Not of approval.
Inquiry was made for João Pedro last week, believe it or not, apparently, but
Oh.
likely to be too expensive, so
I
probably
heard
won't
the
happen.
Pedro deal was going to be. Oh no, I think there's someone different on it.
Yeah, so that
Doesn't matter.
one's looking difficult.
Mhm.
Lee Kang-in, we've already mentioned, the versatile player, and the other one I was told we have an interest in was Simikan from RB Leipzig, defender.
Yes. Now I
play right back as well.
I put up in my video about it's obviously someone saying that apparently I'm linking Newcastle United to have deals with Red Bull as in forming a partnership. I never said that. I said we were gaining friends within football. That's very different to having a partnership with someone. So Newcastle already started doing it in the Premier League. We're friends with Man City. You know, Man City might be scared of us, but they also want us to be able to be free, so they're free as well. And us having Mitchell in will give us links to Red Bull, and PIF want a friendship with them. Friends in football. You know, we don't want enemies. We've got enough of them. German clubs hate the Red Bulls because of how they've become a successful team. You know, the fan ownership side of things and all that sort of stuff. So getting the Red Bulls on side is huge. I think having being able to be linked to their players, they could be linked to our players for loans, and this could help our PSR battle as well. So, and the information I did give out was we are looking at one of their centre backs, and that was the name that's come up a few times now. So it's all good that some of the information we're getting that is still out there is right, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Because we did, if I don't know if Ian can remember, I don't know if Ian was part of the show then, but we did actually say that Eddie Howe signed a new contract, and we got laughed at because it never came out in the public. But we said he signed a new contract, and he did. It just no one ever decided to divulge the information. So it just shows you we do get stuff. Jimmy Roon posted last night that they have a very productive meeting in Germany for NUSC and Adidas family. Yeah, he did. Friends with Chelsea as well. We're not really friends with Chelsea though, are we? Amanda and Mehrdad weren't there with deals, but outside of football. But no news on the away shirt. Still waiting for that to come out. We have all the enemies we need with Jim Ratcliffe. I think we almost someone who'll come out of left field. Should be a good one though. I think the right winger situation could be a left field name that we've not heard of, and it could be the one that Ian knows about. We definitely need friends because the so-called top six are not going to be friends of us. Exactly that. Right, come on, boys. Give me a caption.
Why do you look like Pep Guardiola?
I think I had that one actually. Someone sent that one in. John?
Like what I said before, I can't believe Luke Edwards fell for it again.
I like that one. Will, you got a caption?
No, probably just the Luke Edwards one. I mean, the fact that he said about the doom and gloom and stuff like that, yeah, it just made a mockery of it. And that video that they released later today. I mean,
was that not the Jimmy Bullard talk when he scored the goal? When he put them on the pitch?
Yes. Yeah, it could be that, couldn't it?
Because he's pointing his finger, do this and do that and do that. That's going back some years, by the way.
The teacher one.
Yes. Yeah, the teacher
pointing at them, yeah.
Circle, he was pointing at
Phil
them.
Brown, wasn't it?
Phil Brown,
yeah. Phil Brown got them out because they were 4-0 down or something at half time, weren't they? And he gave them a rollicking on the pitch.
Yeah,
and then Jamie Bullard scores and they go 1-0 up in the next game and he decides to do that celebration.
I'll sell Wilson, but I want a top forward. And I want Miggy gone because I want this right forward. And they're all, yeah, that's the one.
I love it. See, the one that's because where he's pointing at Jamie Rubin and his face looks like it's dropped and everyone else is laughing. For me, it's like Amanda and Mehrdad have gone, your shares are next, mate.
I want a brand new 95,000 stadium, not an 80.
Yeah.
Those Rubin brothers ain't leaving anytime soon.
5 year.
5 year. I think.
Shall I share some info on the stadium?
Well, I was just about to come onto that topic for the last little bit. So I've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, Knox and James is down. Make it the Park. Move the new stadium to Lees's Park. Boom. Done and dusted. Everyone's starting to say it now.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that for weeks.
All that I was going to say is that while Everton have been building the new stadium over the last year, our representatives have been there a number of times, looking at the stadium and looking how it's operate, looking how they're setting it up. So what does that tell you? Is a new stadium in their sights in the near future, potentially?
I think so. I honestly think so. You're not Amanda. I like that one.
I know it might not be popular with some people, but
it won't be.
I think it's inevitable, in my opinion.
For revenue of this football club to make to make us to that next level, it's got to happen.
Yeah. And I love St James's Park. I would hate to see it happen. However, I see the benefit.
I've spoken to a few people now that's got season tickets in Newcastle, and what they've turned around and said was they would give their season ticket for 2 years, not have their seat when if they took half the ground down and built.
Same place, yeah.
They would give that up. So as long as they were guaranteed their seat in the new ground, they would absolutely do that. And I just think.
On from Gary.
I just think, personally, for the football club, it needs to happen. It really does. And then,
what stands would that be? Giving up their ticket, Leeds is an East stand.
As it goes back that way, it will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
be all right because I'm in Gallagher. I'll be okay.
I love it. Oh, I love it to happen because my seat's not in my seat. You can fuck off. I love it. But I personally, I mean, I love St James's Park. It's the only stadium I've known. It's the only stadium the club's known.
I mean, the two lads that's got season tickets. They've had season tickets for 30, 40 years. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So they've been there forever, and they're willing to let them go for 2 seasons just because they want the club to go forward. You know,
exactly.
And that's what. So not everybody's going, "Oh, we should leave St James's," or "We want to stay there." It's a mixed opinion, but for me,
it is.
For the future of this football club, we need a bigger stadium simply for revenue purposes to hold other events like other clubs do.
Well, yeah, exactly. There's other concerts, events. All that sort of stuff. American football apparently is huge. I mean, I never ever go to or even want to watch it.
I said on the other show, Man City's got a massive deal with WWE. So when WWE come over, they're going to do all the wrestling at the Etihad. This is what we need to do to make our football club great by having other opportunities to bring revenue into it. And if that means building another ground and flatten the other one, so be it in my eyes. We need to move forward with the time. St James's Park got so much history and heritage, but going forward for the future, we need to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah. There is issues with Newcastle as well. With the current stadium, even if people don't want to say it, I mean, the concourses do get quite crammed pre-match, especially where I am in the stadium. I don't know what it's like in other areas, but it gets quite crammed at half-time and before the match.
Half-time is impossible.
Also, for me personally, I'm quite tall, so the leg room in the Gallagher is not the best. We're almost, it's really not the best. You're almost sitting on each other's knee at times. But obviously, the character and stuff like that, I would be really sad to see it go. But I just think I can see the little steps they're taking. Like I say, if they've been at the Everton ground watching it, seeing how they're doing it, I mean, obviously they're going to want it bigger and better than that. But you can still take little bits of advice from it. And I think they released a little survey to, I can't remember if they released it to everyone or if it's season ticket member, but they were mentioning a new stadium. How much would you pay for a seat if it had this? How much would you pay if it had this? So I just think you can see little steps are taken, and I do think it'll happen at some point, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, but I think it's inevitable.
I think when you be at the Emirates, the room in front of your seat, what you've got, I mean, it's tight at St James's. Old Trafford's ridiculous, right? It's so tight. But the Emirates, it's you can actually sit and have space around you. Now, that's where what we need to go to, I think. I think the Emirates is a great model it's a fantastic stadium, the Emirates. And we need to go down that route to go forward.
Yeah, they are. The concourses at Agent look warm potato wedges, dear. The food has got better, to be fair, though. The burgers have got better and all that sort of stuff. Love the offers that they do.
Honestly, Baz, my Bairns love the food there. Absolutely love it.
I'll tell you what, I'm
Yeah,
looking
hell of a
forward to
lot
the
better.
stack. They're hoping that's going to be ready for
Yeah.
the Cellar Cup, aren't they? I'm really looking forward to that.
Mm.
Going to have all sorts in there: Chinese, Mexican, Indian, bit of everything.
Tell you what it is, there's some wicked smells going round in that stadium on Cellar Day, wasn't there?
I love it. Oh God, I pay extra to sit on that. Oh Jesus. Yeah, sorry to end it on that bombshell about the stadium potentially being knocked down and a brand new one being built. I know it really peeves off a lot of people, but you've just got to think big and better. That's what PIF are all about. They are not here to be second best. They know St James's Park is history. They know it's amazing, and there's a fans thing coming out soon on Thursday, which is all about history and heritage and why we support Newcastle, which hopefully I'll be attending. And they will be. I think they're doing this digital thing because they are looking at doing a new stadium and they want to see what people's thoughts are. So I wouldn't be surprised if we move soon, probably 3-5 years down the line. But I think it's going to happen because they want to be able to beat Man City. They want to be able to beat Arsenal. They want to beat Real Madrid. They want to beat Paris Saint-Germain. And the only way to do that is by having a 70+ thousand seater stadium as well. So just remember, it's for the future, it's for the best, it's for the team, it's for everything. So just got to, suck it up a little bit, I think. If we could keep St James's Park for the women's team, brilliant. But there we go. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Thank you, Will, as always, and Ian and John for joining as well.
Yes.
We'll work out when the next show is next week. It all depends on work and statuses and stuff like that. So we will be in touch. Until then, enjoy the rest of it. Oh, who won the caption? Who do you think got the best caption tonight? This one? I think that one. I think that was brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's between that and the Luke Edwards one. Between them
Yeah.
two.
Oh, it's a toss-up. Right, I'll have to decide. Yeah, that was funny. Luke Edwards was just actually invited to the meal tonight. Right, so have a vote. Top one, the Mitchell one or the Edwards one? Will, which one are you going for?
Oh, it's got to be Edwards for me because I don't like it. I don't like that man.
I would do that, to be fair. Ian, which one?
Go on then, Will, I'll back you.
Oh, and then John, you're the final vote to make it 3-0 or 2-1.
Yeah, it's a hard trick. I can't stand the lizard. So Luke Edwards.
I love it. Right, we'll do a shout out for them on Twitter. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you again very, very soon.
See you later. Bye.